Full sports. My name is Chief, and joining me today is Bear. We got a the Bear's a little bit not really familiar with Raging Fishbowl too much. He usually is on the LSU side of our stuff here, but Jalen had something he had to get to, so he couldn't do it tonight. But yeah, this is kind of getting crunch time for the Raging Cajuns. So I have been all day putting in specific stuff that has happened throughout the season, like schedule results, who's beaten who for all the bubble teams into Chat GPT. Because I was wondering what percentage it is if in all these different scenarios. I've been playing with this thing all day and I've been having too much fun with it because I was like, ooh, this, and just adding this stuff into there. Because like it's like this is the new predictor here, and I figure if we're gonna build all these data centers, might as well make them work for it today. Basically, I've added so
The
much
future,
chat. Literally, I've never had this happen to me with Chat GPT, but I've added so much to it. I had to stop and wait 3 or 4 hours because I was on the free plan, so I had it cut you off after you ask
yeah.
it too much. So I've never did that with ChatGPT before, so I did something new for the first time today. So without further ado, I'm going to pull it
Chief,
up
Chief might
here.
be on,
So
Chief
let's
might
let
be on to something here with this Chat GPT. This is the future of college sports here,
okay.
of college
So
sports prediction. Predict.
yeah, this is what the AI is pulling up. Now, granted, I had to correct it a couple of times because it did put UL twice in a graph, and I was like, okay, that's not correct because UL doesn't appear. It got two different teams. So it was trying to add in Southern Miss and Dallas Baptist as bubble teams, and I'm like, Southern Miss had just won the regular season championship, and their RPI is 9, so they're definitely not a bubble team. ChatGPT.
Oh,
Yeah. So after all that, okay. So I added in the Texas State sweep of the Raging Cajuns. Okay, and this is what it it had. Okay, so before I added it, it had Louisiana. Now this is gonna be a really high percentage here. Now, if you remember, D1 baseball put Texas State as one of the last four in their projections. ChatGPT does not see it the same way. So this is what it told me. Okay, it said
Chat GPT.
updated impact on the odds. So what I added, just to for clarification, I added the sweep in there. Okay, it said committee verdict realistically. Even with the sweep, Louisiana still ranks comfortably ahead of Texas State because of +4. Q1 wins is a massive gap. Better overall resume strength and more tournament caliber wins. And what they mean by tournament caliber wins, the committee looks at the RPI and it's looking at quadrant one record and it's looking at a quadrant two record and they put them together. Your top 50 is the combination between those quadrant one and quadrant two records here. That's the debate between Louisiana and Texas State. That is what it has right now with that there. So I just noticed, or we're talking about UL chances. If you're following along with the rundown, it's I mean we're gonna talk about that there because right now I got a highlight on the SB Sun Belt Conference tournament. So with that being said, what you think about that, Bear, right now?
It's kind of interesting because I mean, I mean, Chat. I mean, I don't know. Like D1 baseball, they seem to. I mean, they're in the know. This is what they do. But you would think that they would be in the AI and D1 would be in agreement, but it's like total opposites here.
So like I've always said this as someone who's been a
It is
I'm a professional I'm a professional videographer. I do this stuff for a living, okay? So
maybe
and
it's because D1 baseball is taking into effect the non-conference strength of schedule and midweeks and all. Well, not the midweeks, but the non-conference strength of schedule. Whereas ChatGPT just it doesn't see any difference between non-conference and conference. It's all quad one, quad two.
yeah, so like it's kind of like so what I did was I
Like
went on
basically,
what I did. Okay, here's also something else that I did with ChatGPT. I went on Warren Nolan and I screenshotted all the first four in and the last four out. Okay, and I took all those images and I put it in there and I told it to read all the images that's in there, which ChatGPT can do by the way. And it compiled a list
yeah,
of where it thought was the most comfortable and who was on the lowest part of it. The one thing that it pointed out with the Cajuns, with them missing this tournament, is if I talked about this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and stuff like that, bid stealers. Your bid stealers will be like Bear, LSU. LSU gets on a crazy run, wins the SEC tournament. Somebody's going to stay home because they won that tournament.
Yep, because it's an AQ at that point.
Yeah, that's what happens. These teams that ain't supposed to win the conference tournament, the ones that are
Like
like in your top three of like your power conferences, if they win it, that's good. Anybody lower than that, you're kind of getting into some kind of like red tape area depending on the conference there.
look at Kansas baseball just won the Big 12 tournament uh yesterday, day before yesterday. So that's a stolen bid right there because
Yeah,
they weren't even supposed to. I mean, Texas Tech was the heavy favorite all season long, and
yeah.
I mean, Kansas just stole one of those last four bids. So I mean, one of the teams that could have got in as the last four that now be down to three.
Yeah, so
I
that
think
that's
it's the first time since like 1960. What did they say? 1968 or something that Kansas won the Big 12 tournament. Some
I'd be I'd be lying
insane.
if I told you, Bear. I'd be
I,
lying if
I, I
I.
saw the stat, but I can't remember. But dude, that's insane. Like you hadn't won a conference tournament in 50 years, and here we are talking about the last four in, and Kansas just stole one of those spots. That's a bid stealer right there.
So this is what it gave me. Like I guess it's comparing both Louisiana and Texas State at that point. It said before I added the sweep, it said 92 to 95% that Louisiana was going to get in over Texas State. Texas State before I added it was 30 to 40%. After the sweep consideration, Louisiana only dropped 90 to 93%. Texas State was 35 to 45%. So, with that said, it's like the bottom line Texas State baseball sweep helps their argument, does not outweigh resume gaps. Louisiana Raging Cajun baseball are still clearly in the better position. And then it gave me like, so I was like, how is all teams positioned now? So he's like, here's exactly where everyone sits right now after factoring everything. Louisiana's full resume, Texas State sweep of Louisiana, all current records you gave from East Carolina, uh, Texas, TCU, Texas Christian University, and how the NCAA committee actually ranks teams. Current at large positioning, the real board, clearly in, not sweating. It did say that if the Cajuns lost to Marshall tomorrow, that they would not make the tournament. That is a
I
thing
mean,
that
yeah,
it came out and said, yes. So it's like not sweating right now. Number one, the Cajuns are number one in this group. It says RPI, it has it at 38, but I just looked at it on Warren Nolan, it's RPI 40. Now, remember, this is just ChatGPT giving me some statistics and
yeah.
roll because it's a computer. It's basically that's what it is. It can't make anything organic. It's not. This is still a human decision. The body of work will speak for itself. But Q1 record of 6-9, Q2 record of 8-4. Best balanced resume in this group has real wins plus depth, positioned safely in, and it's not last four. Number two of that group is Kentucky. Kentucky SEC boost plus solid Q1 volume, position safe. That's what it has. TCU is at number three. Big 12 schedule carries more weight. Safe but behind Louisiana and Kentucky is what it told me. Now, this is where it's like true bubble. Coin flip territory. East Carolina Pirates baseball RPI of 45. Weak quadrant 1 profile, position last four in range. Louisiana Tech, solid but missing signature wins. Right on the cut line is where it's got out. Just out, needs some help. Texas State Bobcats baseball RPI 44 Q1 record of 2-9.
That's not
Uh,
good.
Sweep over Louisiana. That's one of their pros. Cons still lags high end wins. Position first team out. Mercer Bears baseball no strong wins. Purdue Boilermaker not competitive resume. How the committee sees it. So it's saying Louisiana versus Texas State is the biggest debate. Even with this sweep, Louisiana has a complete resume. Texas State equals one argument head to head. So current odds to make the NCAA tournament. It has Louisiana 90 to 93%, Kentucky's at 88 to 92%, TCU's at 85 to 90%, East Carolina 55 to 65%, Louisiana Tech it dropped it down to 40 to 50%, Texas State 35 to 45%, Mercer is 20%, greater than 20%, but less than 30%. Where that it had all those connotations down there, and it's got Purdue down there at 10 to 15%. Placement it has Louisiana safe at large, Kentucky safe, TCU safe, East Carolina last four in, Louisiana Tech's on the cut line, Texas State's first out, Mercer out, and Purdue is out as well.
So I know we say that midweek games don't matter, but that head-to-head matchup against LSU when the Cajuns beat them. If LSU honestly had a better season and a better record, I mean that win for the Cajuns that'd be a huge boost to their RPI. Right now,
Well,
it's actually hurting RPI so low.
yeah, but what hurt the Cajuns was there was a midweek game. Let me go pull up on like recently, but I mean people like to zero in on the midweek games, but I like to look at the weekend series before I even go look at the midweek. And there was a
Me, I
game
don't.
against Troy.
I,
So look, that's right.
I'm an advocate of every game matters, regardless if it's a midweek or a weekend.
Yes, it gets blown up in situations like this. I understand where you're coming from, but there was a game the Cajuns let slip, and they could have won the series. It was against Troy. They gave up
Mhm.
6 or 7 runs, and Troy's RPI was 55.
Yeah,
That right there would have added you
that,
another quad three win. And they they scored like 6 or 7 runs in the last like inning or so, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me! Like I'm sitting there
that's
watching the
like
game, and I'm like, bro, like we just like self destructed right there. And
sounds like LSU.
like the James Madison series as well. That one I think impacted more than that midweek game against New Orleans. New Orleans was a bad loss. Their RPI is 193, but I think the one that hurts you more is the James Madison series loss. Their RPI currently is 171, and you dropped 2 out of 3
Yep,
against them. So
yep.
you
Those
and
those do hurt.
the Friday they lost in 11 innings on that Friday game. It was 5 to 6 is what they lost. So if that would have been flipped the other way, they would have won that one. Maybe dropped the Sunday. I mean the Saturday game. Different situation there. I think that would have flipped the other way, where the Southern Miss series, and then also I like to mention Troy. Troy's RPI is 46, but like 11 to 15 was the Sunday one. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, the Cajuns gave up 7 runs in the seventh inning in
Yeah,
that.
see, uh, it almost like it behooves you to win those weekend series, especially like the teams with the low RPI. It actually hurts you more than it helps you to lose
Yeah,
a series against the lower RPI.
which I want to
It's
bring up.
just it
I want to
that much
bring up
more.
another point. What you think about this penalization of teams purposefully not canceling games at the end of the season to help their RPI get in the NCAA tournament?
I mean, schedule more quality opponents. I think it's a good thing.
But how do you enforce that? Like, do you add more to the RPI? I say if you cancel at the end of the season in May or something, and it's obviously not weather related or anything like that, and it's got to be
Now,
like a
if it's weather related or if it comes to the point to where the team that's traveling doesn't have the budgetary funds to make the trip, yeah, that's one thing I get it. But canceling games just because you don't want to play it because it hurts your RPI, no, that's a cop out. That's a cop out, 100% a cop out. Play the game and just don't lose. It won't hurt you that bad if you win. It'll hurt you worse if you lose it.
yeah.
Just don't lose the game.
I mean that's the whole thing of it. The only one that was like
Or
they
schedule
played it.
better quality midweek opponents at
I
the
think
end of the season.
yeah, LSU hurt the Cajuns, man. I was at that game and it was a lot of people over there, great atmosphere at the Teague. RPI is 69 right now for LSU right now.
Yeah,
So
see if they
yeah, like
even
when
though
we were talking about the
LSU
talk on the talk
it
on
hurts it
Highland,
actually
yeah, the talk on Highland later is going to be
it
interesting
actually
because I think that's going to be a very good point. Go Bear.
no, I was gonna say, yeah, even though the Cajuns did beat LSU at home and LSU lost on the road, their RPI being 69 actually hurts UL because LSU doesn't have the quality wins on their end of the schedule that the Cajuns needed to boost their RPI.
Yep. Yep. So I mean we appreciate everybody following along here. So this Marshall series, the Cajuns have to win to get in. They have to win to be able to make a run at it at the end of the day. So that's something that everybody's gonna have to kind of look forward to. And
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna be one of those like that's what the I mean the data is kind of showing that they're like if it's make it like it also mentioned I forgot to mention this earlier but like it mentioned like if they beat Marshall they're basically almost a lock you get that double game so you play more so you're either gonna play the way the bracket worked out is Southern Miss or Coastal. That's just the way it is because you're going to play one of those. If they beat Coastal for a third time, which is very hard to beat any team in any sport that you play 3 times in a season, it's very hard to beat them. But if they play Coastal again and they beat them, I think they're locked. I think it's a lock. I think it's a done deal here,
uh,
and they can end up like
I think
what bear?
no, no. I was just say I don't them beating Coastal the third time is pretty. I mean, Coastal is a top 15 team right now, so they're pretty much a lock. They might even be a regional host at this point. So the Cajuns actually need to go and win a few games and possibly make the championship in the Sun Belt Conference tournament to have a shot to get in. Coastal doesn't need to win the Sun Belt to get in. They're already a lock. They're more than likely going to be a top 16 national seed. So the
Um,
Cajuns beating them a third time, a fourth time is not out of the realm of possibilities, or a third time out of the realm of possibilities. Excuse me.
So I think in regards of the tournament seating, you have Southern Miss. Southern Miss won the regular season championship over Coastal. Their RPI is 9 right now, so they're definitely going to be probably one of them
They're
top
definitely a lock.
16 seeds, top 16 national seeds. I would expect them to be in Hattiesburg hosting a regional. Um, in regards with that though, I think if you're the Cajuns, you can't leave anything on the table. Don't even try to. I would rather them try to win the Sun Belt Conference tournament. I think you need to push for it. I don't think you
Yeah,
should even. Yeah, you
yeah.
finished seventh in the conference, and They've beaten the top
And
three
you're not,
teams in the conference in series. So they beat App State. They beat Southern Miss. They beat Coastal. So there's no reason why they can't win this tournament. They have the talent. They've proven on the field here already
and
before. They
here's
should just go straight out, go out and win. And they've been hitting better. This part of the year they've been hitting the ball a lot better, so that's been helping them out. Pitching has been pretty good for them so far. I would start Cody Brash on. I would start him tomorrow. Your Friday guy. Your ace in the hole. Then you could throw Andrew Herman on us. Herm on. Trying to think of what the second. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, their second game's on Wednesday. So throw him that day. Or if you want, you can wait. You could throw you could throw Tillette or you can throw because you gotta try to save your arms at some point there too. It's a matter of
yeah,
where you playing.
yeah.
Like you gotta try to
You got to
manage
save
it. So I probably would
it.
save Herm for probably that third game. If I'm being honest, I would probably throw Tillette Wednesday. Yeah, I'll probably throw Tillette Wednesday.
Yeah, if you make a run at it, you definitely want to save your best arms for that third game. But I mean, it would actually the Cajuns. I think they need to go try to win the Sun Belt tournament because the Sun Belt is not the SEC. They're not a 12-team bid. It's not a 12 bid league. Sun Belt is maybe a two for sure, maybe three at the most. So like you've already beaten these top teams at some point in the season, or you have a chance to beat them again. I mean, I think they need to go try to win it, or at least make the finals to like leave no doubt on the table that they can make a regional.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the thing here. Like we're gonna find out how good these pitching staffs are. This is a good run for um not only the
Yeah,
Cajuns but everybody involved in the tournament. Like everybody's gonna get they're gonna get a good feel for what's going on there because this is really what's gonna help them out there at the end result here because that's gonna be something to see here. This is a good tournament to put yourself in, prepare for the
And
regionals here.
hopefully the weather holds up because I know around us, and I don't know how far what east it's going, but we're supposed to get some torrential flooding rains in the next 10 days.
I know that
Uh,
it's supposed to
flood.
rain like like from Wednesday over here all the way through. I don't know how it is in Montgomery, Alabama. It's probably gonna hit them probably Thursday, I would say, and that's in tournament range still because they're
Yeah,
playing they're playing tomorrow. I don't know how them games are gonna get shuffled, and that's gonna I would play that in strategy too. That's why I think that's why
they're
you
gonna
throw
be playing
Tillette.
some.
That's
It's
why I
gonna
think you throw Tillette Wednesday because you don't want to throw your like you got to throw your ace just to make it through that single elimination part of the tournament, and then go to that double elimination. That way you have a mulligan to make sure like in case you drop the game at the Coastal that you will have another game to play too. It just depends on who the Cajuns play too. I think that's another one there, but like I think if they beat Coastal, I think they're locked in. Honestly believe if they go 2-0 and then let's say they lose the next two games, I think they're locked in. I think they'll have enough there because Sunbelt usually has teams in that top 60 range of RPI where it won't hurt you too bad if you're like in that part of the tournament though too. What you think, Bear?
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like softball, the body of work matters not necessarily what the RPI is. So I mean, if you play you beat Marshall and then you move on and you eventually get to Coastal and you lose that game, but then you turn around and play somebody else that you already beat, or you beat Coastal twice and knock them out. I mean, you beat them four times in the season. Like, I mean, that's surely got to matter to the committee. But I was going to say about the pitching thing, like college baseball has this stupid rule about if the a weather delay, like to start the pitcher that's in the game, can't once the weather delay happens, he's not allowed to like restart. I think it's dumb, but I don't know. There was a time when we didn't have stupid rules like this in place. I remember Kevin Gossman coming back and finishing a game that started the next morning after a weather delay with LSU back in the day.
Yeah, that was I know it's more recent. I think it's more like player safety kind of thing there. I think that's kind of like where they're
Player
all that stuff.
safety. Yeah, I get the safety thing, and then the whole game management. Oh, you can't throw over 100 pitches. Like, come on, man. Like Nolan Ryan threw 130 pitches and then turned around 3 days later, went out and pitched another complete game. So I mean, come on, let the kids play. Let them play.
Let them play. So I think how you who you think is gonna be the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament, Bear?
Probably UCLA. I mean, they last update they've lost like 6 games the whole year. I mean, even though they play in the Big Ten tournament, I mean, they're a juggernaut. They can't be stopped.
So the Cajuns
Either
non-conference. So
UCLA or
I don't know if this sways you on the Cajuns any, but their strength of schedule is 45. Non-conference strength of schedule is 61. Non-conference RPI is 36. Does that sway you any to say that they're out, or you think if they beat
no.
Coastal they're locked in?
I think if they beat Coastal, they're locked in, especially if you judging off of the RPIs, the non-conference RPI at 36. That's really good for them. That gives them a feather in their hat per se, as far as for like being in or out as a bubble team.
The Cajuns are 16 and 14 in Sun Belt Conference play so far this year. I know that the committee typically frowns upon teams that are below that 500 here. Now, granted, if we said they lose to Marshall, it's over with. But if they beat Marshall and they go to 17 and 14, then they play Coastal, they lose them there. But there's no chance for the Cajuns to go under conference record wise below that 500 there. But for the sake of this saying it there, let's say if they were 16 and 15 and they ended up like beating Marshall but then losing two, then get dropped below that 500 mark, you think that would actually have eliminated them at that point?
Yeah, I mean, but like, then again, it all depends on how the committee's judging this. Like if it's anything like softball, I don't know if they're gonna give him a shot or not. But if we're basing the stroll solely off of RPIs, not only your whole schedule but non-conference and everything, the definitely non-conference helps. But I mean, who knows? Every year it's different on the way that they judge these things, determine these things. It's the greatest enigma of all in sports. Is figuring out what system the committees are going to use to
I know
determine regionals or playoffs or whatever.
they have another ranking system with the baseball power index. I think it's called a KPI or something like that or something. I think
Yeah,
the
something.
yeah, and there's all kind of different ones that you can look at here. They might use that, they might use the other, they might use the RPI. The RPI is kind of like been one that's been heavily talked about being replaced in the future here, but I mean they haven't done so far, and that's been kind of the one that they mostly rely on with college softball and college baseball. Now basketball, they rely more on the net rankings than they do RPI. They still take RPI into factor there, but that's going to be discussed at a later date to see what actually happens here. So,
Yeah, well,
um,
could something like that work for college baseball and softball? Is the net ranking system?
uh, I mean, probably so. It probably have to be refined more. You got to think basketball doesn't play 3 games series that baseball does or softball does, or mid. Well, I mean, they
Well,
play
yeah, but it
midweek
doesn't
games, but
count.
they play like 2 games a week basketball, depending on
Yeah,
now. Right now, let me rephrase that: 2 games a week in non-tournament action, basically. So that there would have to be weighed a different way and stuff probably um with baseball because it's gonna be more like a series and trying to see. So
so
yeah, maybe something like that could be something to be interested in the future.
let's 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 talk about this. So if UL does not make a regional, is Coach Dave safe, or is he? Are they gonna possibly look to replace him?
I know they got some people that want to get Dex gone after last season. He had a bad season, but you got to
I
look
mean,
at
I
the
think
dish.
he's done better this year than last year, honestly.
I mean the Cajuns placed. The future's looking bright for the Cajuns because the Cajuns have placed let me see. I think it's
And
4 on the all freshman list. Sun Belt Conference yeah, yeah. Cajuns have placed 4 on
that's
the
pretty good.
inaugural All Sun Belt baseball freshman list. Colt Brown, Noah Lewis, Sawyer Pruitt, and Blaze Rodriguez. All
I
4
mean,
have been placed on that list.
I personally like Coach Diggs. I mean, he reminds me of like an old school coach. He's gritty. You know, he may act out of get out of line with his attitude every once in a while, but like in the James Madison series, but all I mean, it was a play that the first baseman should have been ejected, and Coach Diggs came out of the dugout and went to bat for his guy. I have no issue. I mean, yes, he probably overreacted a little bit, but he came out of the dugout and went to bat for his guy. I mean, as a player, you can't ask for any better than a coach. He's
Yeah.
willing. He's willing to get
My
ejected from the game.
I think where a lot of it comes from, and I'm gonna say this here live here on Fishbowl Sports, is Deggs is paid the 25th highest paid baseball coach in America. Okay,
I mean, they don't
I
have the funding that some have.
so I think you should get paid based on the body of work that you've done, right? So like you making regionals doesn't qualify for top 25 pay. I think the Cajuns are overpaying him right now. Technically speaking, what the results are showing. Um, that's my only issue
I
with
mean,
it there. I think that's more on Maggard than Deggs. I think Deggs is a good baseball coach. Okay, he's made
well,
it to the
kudos
regionals.
to Coach
They won
Diggs'
the Sun Belt
agent for
Conference. Okay,
negotiating
so
that too.
yeah, so to kind of relive it here, 2022 Cajuns won the regular season Sun Belt. I mean, they won the conference tournament in 2022. They made it. They got an at large in 2023 bid. 2024 they won the Sun Belt regular season,
Oh, dropped out.
but they lost the conference tournament. But they made it to a regional. So that was 3 years in a row they made it to the regional. Then last year they didn't make it at all. So they just had they missed the transfer portal and all kind of other stuff. Just missed it. So I think that's a good track record for keeping your job, like basically for what it is here.
I mean,
Um,
he's made a year. He's made a year, except for last year. He's made a year-over-year improvement. I mean, you can't. Yes, he may be overpaid, but I mean, kudos to his agent. He's the agent's the one that negotiated a contract. But I mean, if he's constantly improving, he got four freshmen on the conference on the all conference tournament team or all conference team. Like the future, I mean, they're clearly heading in the right direction. I mean, and like I said, as far as for his attitude and everything, like I mean, you can't ask for a better coach. He's going to go to bat for you guys, and it might get him ejected. But I mean, that's what you want your coach to do. And you know, being a
yeah,
former UL player himself, he understands what it takes to run this program. He played for Tony Robichaux. He understands. He gets
yeah,
it.
and he was trying to get there under Tony,
Yeah,
assistant, you know, and Tony helped him out of a bad jam. He was struggling with alcohol, but I mean that's more like, yeah, I don't want to talk about his like demons that he had to battle, but looking at this particular series here, I mean this tournament coming up here, taking on Marshall. I think the Cajuns. I think if they beat Coastal, I think they're in. I think that's kind of like the done deal here. Um, and yeah, I think that's what's
yeah.
gonna happen here. I think, yeah. I now the okay. We're assuming they win against Coastal. If they
Yeah,
lose, it's
I
gonna
think I
depend
think
on who they
too.
play in
That
that loser bracket. They beat Marshall, then they lose to Coastal. How you view that going? Are they gonna still be in? You think even if they lose the Coastal series and play that third game?
you technically already won the head-to-head matchup in the regular season. You beat them 2 out of 3. So I mean that's got to play a factor in the committee's decision. Also, like you know, you lost to them in the tournament. You did technically beat them 2 out of 3 in the regular season in the head-to-head matchup. You won that series outright. So that's got to count for something. Also,
And also, you took 2 out of 3 against Southern Miss, the team that won the regular season conference.
got to count too.
And I mean, like they've won the series against the top three Sun Belt teams um, that have finished there.
So
App
the difference
State,
between them being no, I was just gonna say the difference between them being seventh and being one of the top 4 teams is the Troy series, the what we just talked
James
about,
Madison.
the James Madison series. Like if they win those series, they could they'd have been like a number 4 seed. I mean, they'd be right up there with everybody else.
Yeah,
We wouldn't even be having this discussion.
yeah, because their standings were so close. Basically, like literally, it flip flopped that last series between 1 and 2, between Coastal and Southern Miss. Like Coastal need to win the series to clinch the regular season title over Southern Miss. Southern Miss need to win it too. They were battling each other for that last top spot in the Sun Belt. So that's something to kind of like look at also as well. Coastal's been kind of like they've cooled off a lot the last 10 games or so. I don't know what's going on with there, but they're not peaking at the right time. Wait, what, Bear?
No, I was just gonna. You were cutting out on me, so I was gonna say like if you get the extra win against James Madison, against Troy, and against oh, I just lost my train of thought. That's 3 extra wins right there. You're looking at being a top. You're looking at being a 4 or 5 seed in a tournament compared to a 7, possibly a three
Yeah.
seed.
Yep.
And we did none. This discussion wouldn't even be happening. It'd be a lock already.
Yep. I think that's kind of like something to kind of look at here and just see what happens. So I think we've kind of like covered up their chances here. I mean, like it's gonna really their season's gonna hinge on this Marshall game. That's what it's gonna come down to. Marshall's got a terrible RPI. You just
Yeah.
oof. It's gonna. I'm gonna be a nervous wreck tomorrow. That's why we're doing both shows tonight here. Cause so yeah, after this one, around 8 o'clock, I will see Bear again here on this show.
Well, I know.
Um, after
Yeah.
I need to take some chill pills tomorrow or something. I might go fix me a glass of whiskey or something watching the game or something because the
And
cardiac Cajuns are gonna drive me nuts tomorrow.
I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's
The,
I might ask old boy Juicy to come pick me up and bring me to the hospital. Who knows? By the end of it, put
what
Juicy to work at
about you
least once. Hey
about
Juicy, if you're
softball? I
watching
mean,
this,
what
that season done with, bro. Back to back years of not making a regional.
yeah,
Uh, I
are they looking better recruiting wise, or is it just like might next year might be the end of the habit Allison Habit's tenure?
I'm thinking it might be the end. I said this on the show 2 weeks ago after the Sun Belt Conference tournament. You got ULM passing you up. You got Southeastern passing you up. Um, UL's got a higher NIL budget than both those teams. The pitching has not been there since she took over. Now, granted, I'm gonna give her a pass the first year because she wasn't really allowed to recruit too much because Gary Glasgow took over a lot of the players over to Texas Tech, where he's having great success over there and stuff. I have seen um, just they've been dominant at what they do. I mean, kudos to them for figuring it out. Um, but I think the problem is that I think she's gonna have to make a regional next year. There's too much tradition with the program for it just to kind of fall off like that. And Maggart's made a
Mm-hmm.
lot of you know
Agreed.
hires that were like very former player ish, becoming head coaches kind of thing. Now, Habits was a great softball player back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Played on a World Series team. Great women's basketball player as well. Legend in the program. I get it. But sometimes there's a different animal
that
from becoming a player to a coach. And like she was a good
transition
assistant
over.
at Alabama. She was a great assistant coach at Alabama softball for many years. But to be the head person, you got to get the right people in the assistant spots there to put you where you need to be. And
I mean, she will work for Beth Torino if nothing else.
yeah, maybe we should do a swap, a coach swap, right? Maybe we should do one.
Oh,
Maybe we
you all would
should.
love having Beth Torino. It would be they would make the World
Veterina as
Series.
hey, like maybe they might have something there. Who knows? Maybe do a coach swap. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, like I I think she's got to make a regional the third year. And I know they got some people on the X space that are probably raising their pitchforks and probably one of the torches to burn down Fishbowl Studios right now. But um, facts are facts, and this is realistically speaking here. You got 4 years as a head coach to do anything. You can lose all you want, you can win all you want. You got 4 years, and you're
You want to
supposed to
see the
have your
results.
biggest improvement in either year two or year three. And it's more of a win now situation. So me even offering 4 years is like I'm giving Quantus White the same kind of treatment though too. Coach White didn't have a great first year, but he just kind of had to figure it out on his own here. The basketball program was in a worse place than the softball program was. They had a losing season, and then Bob Marley got canned middle of the season. Coach Zimmerman took over, which I think he's on the ULM assistant staff right now as an assistant coach. And then
We
just
need
that situation there is different in itself. So it's kind of like, all right, you're gonna have to find these people to kind of like work it out and try to figure out what's gonna happen. I want both of them to succeed. I would love so because me rooting for them to succeed makes you all look bad, and it is rooting against the school itself. Um, no hard feelings against any both of them, but you just The W's are what's matter at the end of the day. That's why you get your paycheck the way you get your paycheck and stuff.
I think we need to hold a talk to the board at UL and have Chief run their NIL promotion videos to start fundraising.
Maybe I should, right? Maybe I like. I think so. I so for mid majors and stuff. I think the way they should do it now. This might be a good beneficial money thing. Most of your athletic department's money doesn't come from as many people as believe attendance is the grand jewel of college athletics. It's not anymore. And the people that are saying that stuff are living in 20 years ago, in the 2000s and the 1990s, because that's dead. It's these TV contracts and the sponsors
And
that pay
revenue
for
and
these.
revenue.
That's the way it is. That's where your bread and butter is for all your athletic programs. So to run NIL and stuff, you need to get local businesses involved to put money into UL and stuff. Now I know LSU, it's hard to kind of get NIL money because you got that big monster sitting over there in Baton Rouge, taking in resources from Acadiana. But not everybody from Acadiana likes LSU like that. There's a lot that don't like LSU. Um,
No, they're not. I can tell you that firsthand.
um, that's the thing. Like that's the you just got to get them on board with it and just like you got to give them a return on their investment. I would say I would be bold with it in this day and age. If you want to stay with the FBS level and compete with the big dogs, you got to give every half of all season ticket sales goes to NIL fund.
That or if
I would be
I've
bold
always
like that because you need
I
money
mean
to
I'll
get these
go even.
players.
I mean there's no reason why in this day and age that college kids need to be making a million, 2 million, $4 million a year. If you can't survive on $80,000 a year as a college student, you are doing life all wrong. I think it needs to be a cap of 80 to 100,000 per school for each student athlete, and it would give everybody a chance to compete equally across the board, regardless of FBS, FCS. Yeah, I mean, it would give all of your smaller FBS schools a chance to compete, level the playing field.
Yeah, that's the
Because if you got a guy that's getting paid $4 million a year, a rookie contract in the NFL is not even $4 million a year.
well they need uh, people don't like this, but here we go. Run it just like the NFL. You're gonna have to.
Exactly.
That's the only.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to
It's a
run just like
business.
the NFL. There's nothing amateur about college football anymore. You are being paid for a service, okay? Them kids nowadays, you play college football, you are considered a professional athlete because you're being paid to
It
play
works the same
football.
works the same way in the business world. I have a commercial driver's license. I don't get paid to drive anymore, but when I was, that was the whole purpose of me having a commercial license. I am getting paid to drive and deliver this load. These kids are getting paid to play sports. It's a business now.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're not amateurs anymore. This is a professional business.
yep. That's the thing. Like they're being paid for a service, which is them playing football, basketball, baseball. If you receive $1 of NIL money, like we push our Walmart creator thing, okay? The fishbowl is a professional business. We're registered with the state, okay? That's a thing. So the creator here, I think I'm pointing, yeah. That little thing in the right corner, right next to Bear, y'all buy stuff from that site, Walmart creator or storefront or whatever. We get commission off of it. I like promoting it. You know why? Because it supports the business. Y'all watching on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching at, supports us. If you watch us for a
Sponsored
second,
my outlandish comments that I made.
yeah, that all like y'all make comments under the Bears takes. where he goes AWOL, y'all paid the bills for the month. Congratulations. Yeah,
Just a little bit.
yeah,
We
just
don't
a
get
little
much
bit. Not it doesn't all come from Bear's comments. I sit back and read Bear, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna get us
Michael
canceled one day.
Jackson with the popcorn.
This
Home, home.
this guy's gonna get us canceled one day.
Nah, it's all good. I keep it professional.
Yeah, but look, but all I would say was true. It's honest, you know. It comes from his point of view, so I can't fault him for it there.
As
All
long as
right,
it
y'all.
stays
So
professional. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's
we've laughed enough.
all right. So we're gonna get back here at 8 o'clock. The talk on Highland. I'll see Bear there. I'm gonna go eat me some supper because I haven't eaten any supper yet. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What's gonna be going down in the kitchen with the chief. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode here of Fishbowl Sports. On a great, wonderful night. We're gonna see you here back here 8 o'clock, and we might have a little surprise for you there at that point. So keep it tuned in.
Make sure your popcorn's ready because we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
Good night. Go Cajuns.